The Boston Celtics just went up 3-0 in the NBA Finals against the Dallas Mavericks, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were their best players by far and closed out the game in heroic fashion. They came back from a 13-point deficit in the first quarter, and by the end of the first quarter, they had already cut the lead down to 1, and after going into halftime down only 1, they came out in the second half and dominated the third quarter. They went up by 21 points at one point and outscored Dallas in the third quarter 35-19, and while they let Dallas kind of get back in the game in the fourth quarter, with Dallas cutting the lead to only 2 at a certain point, they kept their composure and were able to hold them off, especially helped out by Luka Doncic fouling out with about 3 minutes left to go in the game. But Jason Tatum played absolutely amazing and had his best game of the entire NBA Finals in this game. He had 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists on 11 for 26 shooting, which isn't great, but it's still 42% and is way higher than what he was shooting in the first couple of games. And late in the game, he missed a couple of shots to really lower that percentage. But Jaylen Brown really came through for the Celtics as well, scoring 30 points and adding 8 rebounds and 8 assists on 55% shooting, which is 12 for 22 from the field, and hit 4 free throws. And honestly, Jaylen Brown hit some incredibly difficult shots late in the game. With the Celtics only up by 2 in the fourth quarter with about a minute left in the game, Jaylen Brown hit a turnaround fadeaway over, I think it was Derek Lively, at the free throw line, and that was what really iced the game for the Celtics. And after that, they never really looked back. But Jaylen Brown hit some huge shots throughout this entire game, and really when Dallas started to make a run, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both were able to calm down and get the Celtics offense rolling again. But you also saw players like Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Al Horford all hit big-time shots, and even guys like Peyton Pritchard or Sam Hauser played a very big role in this win. Peyton Pritchard actually didn't score, and he shot 0 for 4 from the field, but he played amazing defense on Luka Doncic at certain times, and that led to Luka being frustrated, which led to him on the defensive end being lazy and fouling out of the game, which down the stretch with 3 minutes left to go in a tight game is huge when Dallas loses their best player, and that totally shifted the momentum as well, because as soon as Luka was out of the game, you could see the crowd died down and Dallas was really demoralized, and as they should be, losing their best player to fouling out. But if you look at Dallas's side, they just didn't play well enough. They went down 21 points at one point, and while they were able to come back, you're not able to complete a comeback every single time. This team has been able to come back in the playoffs before, like when they came back when they were down by 17 to OKC in a previous series, but this team just needs to be able to hold a lead throughout the entire game. They were up 13 at one point, but choked that away in the first quarter alone. And Kyrie Irving had himself an amazing game. He shot 13 for 28 and 4 for 6 from 3 and had 35 points, but Luka Doncic had very poor shot selection in this game, shooting 11 for 27 and 40% from the field. And while his counting numbers look good with 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, he did not play up to the level that we have seen him play at different times throughout this playoff run, and as we expect him to play in a big-time playoff game. And fouling out was only the tip of the iceberg in terms of his play, as there were so many times where if he made an extra pass to PJ Washington in the corner, or even to a cutting Derrick Jones Jr. or Derek Lively, they would have been able to have so much more offensive success. And in the first quarter, when they went up by 13 points, they were moving the ball effectively. But after that first quarter, Luka decided to go iso ball again and decided to hold on to the ball and go isolation for 20 of the 24 seconds on the shot clock, and then take a terrible shot at the end of the clock. And we saw multiple times late in the game where he got into the lane but tried to shoot the ball over 2 Boston defenders and ended up coming up very short on those shots. And Luka Doncic is not the only one at fault here, but his shot selection and turnovers really cost the Mavericks in the past 2 games. And this offense is really struggling right now. They have not hit 100 points in any of the 3 games so far, and that is a huge concern. And despite this series being effectively a sweep, as long as Boston doesn't completely choke and do something that no team has ever done before and giving up a 3-0 lead in a playoff series, this Dallas Mavericks team has a lot to be disappointed about, because in previous rounds against a team like Minnesota or OKC, this team was such a good offensive team, and that was their bread and butter all season. And when you have Kyrie Irving having a career game, shooting 13 for 28 and having 35 points, and even Derek Lively did not play bad. He shot 83% from the field and had 11 points and 13 rebounds, having a double-double. When you have that kind of production from two guys, you need your best player to step up in that situation, but Luka really didn't come through. But let me know in the comments if you think this will be a sweep for the Boston Celtics, or if you think that Dallas can come back and win a game or two. And I think that Boston will end in the next game, just because this Dallas team is so demoralized after leading in the past two games in the first quarter, but just giving up the lead both times. And I honestly think that Boston is the better team, and this was without Kristaps Porzingis as well. Anyways, God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing day, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. God bless.